What's up, everybody? We're back with another episode of the Playbook here on the Boise Beat. As always, I got my pops with me. I got the OG Buttagoon.
Yeah.
And a favorite guest, Hondo Rondo today.
Boston, stand up!
Anything's possible.
Yes, sir. Get these guys out of here.
I mean, I guess we could just start. I wanted to start off with the round 2 exits. Actually, before we jump into the Celtics, let's get into some of the teams. What's the plan moving forward? And we'll start with you, Pops. But are the Clippers, are they done for? What's the move for them?
Well, their owner, he's got a lot of money, Steve Ballmer, and he wants to keep them all together. I mean, he's traded all their draft picks and their bench. So if he wants to keep them together, he can. I mean, it's going to cost them a lot of money, but yeah, they're just getting too old, too injury prone. I mean, it's time to rebuild, maybe trade somebody, get some new young talent, first round picks or something.
If they have any, that's the question. They traded all their future along with SGA to the Thunder.
You need to trade and get some back.
Yeah. And Buttagoon, we talked about Kawhi, how good he is in the playoffs. We saw no Kawhi in this playoffs. He was hurt.
Well, and the games he did play, they lost. So I mean,
that's true.
It's a weird thing, man. That Clippers team, I don't know. You can tell that they're in desperation mode. They're just throwing up Hail Marys, try to get James Harden, just see what else can work for him because Kawhi and PG wasn't working, so they added Westbrook to come off the bench, and they get James. It's just ain't. It's in a desperation mode and they ain't working. I don't know what they do, but they got a bad problem on their hands, and their head coach might leave. So I don't know.
Maybe
they'll re-sign him. They'll definitely re-sign him.
Well, I don't know. LA wants him. You know how LeBron
he wants
is.
To stay though.
Yeah.
He wants to finish it.
That's the one thing they got going for them is their head coach. What about you, Hondo Rondo?
I think next year's their last dance. Like you guys said, they've got a lot of money in them. They've got no draft picks. I think Norman Paul's got a player option next year. But yeah, they've just got a lot of money spent in this team, and just think about it. You got PG and the Kawhi, their era. They've got 5 years together, and they've only got 3 playoff wins or series wins. Wow. It's not a lot to show for, So I think next year is their last dance, and if they don't get anywhere, they blow it up. PG is a free agent this year, so we'll see what happens with him first, I guess.
Yeah, maybe Philly, but
yeah, they'll pay him though.
Philly, my baby team, Orlando. They've got the money to throw around. They need someone. they gotta throw it around to someone.
Yeah, maybe they can get some players and couple draft picks for Kawhi or other guy.
Yeah. And your team Orlando, you were calling it, man. They took the Cavs to 7 games.
I know. I was sad that they went down 0-2. I gave up on them.
You did.
After they went home, they just started winning. They looked like a different team at home. But yeah, I mean, watching Game 7, They just need some shooters on that team. Honestly, they need
Yeah.
someone that can run the offense for them, get the ball out of Banchero's hands, and just give him a rest because everything was going through him. You could tell he was getting tired towards the end, and he could only do
Yeah.
so much. But he is for real.
Yeah.
That
And
guy was for real.
I think there were a lot of questions about him. Not a lot of hype. Obviously, the Magic didn't get covered. I mean, all their games were played at like 12, 2 p.m., on
Yeah.
NBA TV. They were getting, this is the most disrespectful
I mean, Game 7
matchup.
was there was a Game 7 played at 11 o'clock in the morning on a
And there was no other games on either. Like they just had, they just
Yeah.
they're like, please just get this over with.
Yeah.
But yeah, but Banchero answered a lot of questions this postseason, though. He is the real deal. He went down swinging, that's for sure.
hmm
No one else on the Magic was producing in that one, but
And
I
like
mean,
I said, I mean, you've got PG that's going to be a free agent. I'm sure if the Warriors want to get rid of some cap salary, they could get rid of Chris Paul or Klay Thompson. That'd be a good pickup for them. Um, I think Chris Middleton might be a free agent. I don't know, but I mean, players like that, just get some veteran
Duke in the NBA.
presence for them.
That's
You know what I mean?
that's Patrick. He loves those Duke players in the NBA, man.
I mean, they're running the
But
league right now.
they are them and Kentucky boys.
Yeah.
But while you're talking about Chris Middleton, I mean, what's going on with the Bucks? What do you think is next for them, Pops? I mean, did not end well. Lillard and Giannis didn't even play.
That's a good question. I mean, they got the players, but Doc took over late, didn't get to get his system put in. He'll be back next year and give it a run, but
We love to hear it.
I don't know, man. Once Antetokounmpo got hurt, it was pretty much over. But they paid a lot for Lillard, so and Middleton's had a good series, had a good playoff. So if he's a free agent, I'm sure they'll bring him back. I don't know.
Yeah,
Man.
I mean, this is tough because obviously the Bucks, they wanted to see what they had come playoff time. They could really test it out and see what they got, and then see what they need to work on for next year. I think they knew they weren't going to make a deep run this year, or at least go to the finals. They wanted to see what they had so they could build on it next year. And with Lillard and especially Giannis being out the whole playoff series, you didn't even get to see how it was going to gel in the playoffs, and that's what hurts the most. Buttigoon. I see Buttigoon smirking over there.
No, that's my bad. I was clearing my throat. My bad, G.
Okay, go ahead, Hondo.
But yeah.
Oh, sorry, Buttigoon. You guys want to say, Hondo?
If he's got some, he can go.
No, go hit it.
We're not doing this right now.
This guy, dude.
All right. No, I mean, no one predicted back in October that they would have gotten knocked out in the first round. You know what I mean? Especially them and the Sixers. I mean, a lot of teams that were supposed to be better than the Celtics, and they're nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
Look at this guy. Listen to him always throwing that in. A lot of people are saying better than the Celtics, bro. I just had to throw that little dig in there. No one's talking about him right now. I don't know.
They were the preseason favorite. The Bucks were after they got Lillard.
I was told that duo was better than the duo we have up in Massachusetts, but
they were hurt.
Yeah.
They were hurt.
Yeah.
We'll never know. We'll never know. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
I guess we'll never know. No, I mean, I think the Bucks kind of ran into. I think that's how they'll play it. Is just they ran into an unfortunate end to their season. Giannis getting hurt, Dame's kind of lingering. I just think that's how they'll chalk it up. I mean, Bobby Porter's played great. Middleton did play pretty solid. Shout out Bobby, baby.
Playoff Portis.
So I mean, they have all the pieces, kind of like Pop said. So I mean, they'll just run it back. I mean, we'll get another full season of Doc throwing everybody under the bus, including the driver. So, we'll see how it goes this time, full season. I think that'll be very helpful for them. And that's probably what they'll just chalk it up as. Just, hey, bad season with injuries, had the head coaching change when they, part of these decisions were themselves, but, it is what it is.
Yeah. A lot of the teams in the first round that got knocked out in the first round were because their stars were injured. Look at the Pelicans. You look at the Clippers with Kawhi, and then Antetokounmpo being out. You know, health is the biggest thing, right? When it comes to the playoffs. If you're not healthy and your big stars are out, it's tough.
I mean, Joel
Yeah.
Embiid too.
Mm-hmm. He had
Yeah.
every freaking thing going on. What was
I
it?
mean,
Was it
it
a
did
knee injury?
Bell palsy,
And then
didn't
knee injury, and then half
yeah,
his face was frozen.
yeah, half his face wasn't working. That's so crazy.
Yeah,
Oh
that.
yeah.
And then I mean, it's not really affected them as far as the playoffs, but I mean, Julius Randle being out too for the Knicks. I mean, that team would
Hmm.
probably be another step better than what they are right now.
For
I
sure.
don't think I don't think Jalen Brunson would have to be going out there scoring 40 every night just to win by 2.
But 3 straight games now, 40?
4.
Yeah,
4 now, huh? After last
yeah.
night.
Yeah.
And that guy,
Yeah, that's
now
pretty crazy.
people are trying to say this guy's better than Curry now. That's how good he's been playing.
He's
Like,
he's you know what? He's on his little Isaiah Thomas run right now.
ooh,
The
okay.
way he's got his shots going and shot
Hmm.
creation and stuff just reminds me of IT so much, man. That year he was just balling. I mean, you just watch the way he plays. It's just amazing the way he can create his shots.
Yeah, and I completely agree with that because a lot of players, as well as watching their tape, they're like, I don't know how to stop this guy. It seems like
Hmm.
they're playing him as well as they can, and he just finds ways to get shots off and make them. And that's a lot of Isaiah Thomas because obviously he's 5'9", but like Jalen Brunson, just the way he operates, his footwork is so clean. I
Yeah.
mean, that guy, he's really proven a lot. I mean, the Mavs, they still got Kyrie eventually, but man, they could have had Jalen Brunson for years to come with Luca.
I and
They
I
had
don't I
something
don't
there.
think I don't think he would have played as good as he is now because Luca
Hmm.
and him are such ball dominant guards. Um, I just think for a lot of people it takes certain players or a lot of players to go somewhere else and flourish. I mean, look at Neesmith with the Pacers. He was just a role player for us, and now you watch him play and he's putting people on posters and stuff for the Pacers. Like it just takes a new situation for people
Yeah.
to
And he's
flourish
a lot
and
more
grow.
confident now because he was not going to get no playing time with the roster that the Celtics have put together.
Yeah.
But while we're on the topic of Brunson, Pops, I'll start with you because you probably have a good recollection of this game. I don't think any of us were alive when this game happened, but the Reggie Miller game, because we got the rematch, the 90s rematch of the Pacers Knicks. Yeah, exactly. Spike Lee, the choke game.
Yeah.
Do you remember where you're at when you watched this game, Pops, on that fateful night?
Oh yeah, man. What a game. And it's probably the one was Stark where he just couldn't make a basket. He shot like 20 shots and he couldn't make a basket. And so they end up losing in 7. I think that's when the Pacers went to the finals. Larry Bird, he did one time with them. And yeah, those were some series, man. I mean, not a lot of scoring. Reggie Miller, I think in that series, scored like 8 or 9 points in like 15 seconds. That was
Yeah,
crazy, man. And
to
then of
end the
course
game.
he was punking Spike Lee the whole time, just
Yeah,
messing with him the whole time, man.
I love that. Can't stand
Yeah.
Spike Lee. Can't stand Knicks fans. I mean, I love Knicks fans, but I hate them. Bing bong. Those guys
Yeah, I was
like
just saying,
they.
give the people in New York a
Yeah,
chance. New
that's
York,
what I.
stand up.
Yeah, that's what I
Oh,
love.
I'm always chanting that too. I'm always like,
Yeah,
New York, stand up.
See, that's what I'm saying, bro. It's
and
the
Yeah.
like I
best.
love
It's
that.
a better time when the Knicks are good
No,
because
I love
fans are
it.
just
Yeah,
hyped, man.
yeah. One round, and they celebrate like they won the championship when they win
They
one round, which
do,
is
they do.
awesome to see. You love to see it because it's like, okay, these guys appreciate it, and that's why I'd love to see a Boston New York conference
Oh, yeah.
finals because already the rivalry of Boston and New York. I mean, that would be crazy with both fan bases, going at it. It would be
And just
unbelievable.
a bit of hockey, we also have a chance for so if
Yeah.
that happens, those two cities are gonna be turning up.
Oh yeah. The city of New
They're
York is
calling the
rolling right
Knicks.
now.
Yeah. They're calling the Knicks the Villanova 3, because
Yeah,
all 3 of them played together at Villanova. Brunson, you have
Carter
Hart,
and
and who's the other one?
DiVincenzo.
Vincenzo, DiVincenzo, yeah,
Who is it?
Yeah.
DiVincenzo.
Yeah, DiVincenzo. They
I
all
can't
played
say his
together at
name.
Villanova, titles. And
Steven
so
Pendejo, I don't know.
they need more than Villanova 3, though, if they get past this round.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be a good series. I mean, Halliburton, the guy's a real deal too. You know, him and Brunson going at it. It's gonna be a good series.
That game last night, though, honestly, I just wish it's a moving screen 100 times out of 100 times. Unless your name is Bam Adebayo, then you can do that all the time. But I just don't like that the referees had to call that in that situation, man. I kind of
Well,
wanted
they
to
hadn't
see what
called it
was
all
going to
night.
happen. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then that kick ball that was actually went off his hands. I mean,
Oh, I know, and
that
they
was
couldn't
a
challenge
fast
it.
break for him. I don't know. They didn't catch
hmm
any breaks in those
Yeah.
in the last minute.
Adam
I didn't
Silver's
see
a
the
Knicks guy,
2 minute.
so I mean,
Oh, he is, huh? That's right.
Yeah.
Adam
Hey,
Silver's a
well,
Knicks guy. He made the call.
yeah. Well, speaking of controversy, let's get to the topic we all want to get to, because obviously there's a game just the other night where the refs were letting him play, and he was getting real testy out there.
Oh yeah.
And the T-Wolves went out 2-0. Jamal Murray throws a towel, gets picked up, then throws a heat pad onto the court. He gets fined 100,000, but since they're down 2-0, probably does not get suspended because of that, because the series would be over, and that'd be a lot of loss of money for the NBA. So, Badagoon, let's start with you.
I mean, yeah, I don't know how he didn't get suspended. I mean,
Yeah.
I obviously because you don't want to, the NBA doesn't want to lose money, but
hmm
regular season, any player doing that, probably yes, suspended. So that's
Oh
crazy
yeah.
to me, but I mean, you can. That's just a micro like cosmos. They're frustrated in Denver right now. The T Wolves are bullying them up and down the court. They got people on people on people on Jokic. They got their three bigs.
hmm
McDaniels is shutting down Jamal, and Ant's just being a superstar, dude. So I don't know. I think the Nuggets are frustrated right now, and I think that was just a prime example of it, dude. Dude's throwing a heat back. What are you, a little kid, bro? Come on now.
Yeah, that was so bad. I mean, especially after the towel got picked up. You know what I mean? And then he throws something else. It did not look good. It did not
No,
look
not a
good.
good look. Not a good look.
And the coach got
Pops.
fired up too, man. I
hmm
think he got a tech for it, but he was out there really going at the refs. And I can see his point because, man, they were working Murray over, man, and he didn't get any foul calls.
Oh,
hmm
Lou Dort was
Not
putting
any at
Bi like
all.
that all series. It's fine. He's fine.
I don't know.
That's playoff basketball. He's fine.
Cat went right through Murray's chest on one play, and then the one that got Malone fired up was the knee to the groin on KCP. I
Yeah.
mean, personally, I didn't think it was that much the groin one because he went up, they contested, but the Anthony Towns going through Jamal's chest was kind of ridiculous.
I don't know,
Yeah.
man. I also saw Chet go right through Bi's chest and then not call anything. So at this point, I'm like, the refs are just gonna let him play until someone brings out like a shank or something.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't watch that series, so I didn't catch
Well,
that.
the crazy thing is, the biggest complaint is obviously is the refs aren't doing this consistently. Like it varies
Yeah,
game to
that's what it
game in a
is.
series, and it's so rough. Like, all right, what are we doing? You know, what I mean, even half to half, it varies. Like either they're letting them play or they're not, and that's what's so frustrating. It's like we don't mind either style, and the players don't, fans don't, but it's like just pick one and stick to it. You know,
Well,
be
and just
consistent with
like
it.
just like we said with the two different games last night, I mean, you've got the little marginal moving screen with the Pacers who could have won the
Yeah,
game
that
off of
wasn't a
that. We
moving
don't
screen.
know
That was
compared to
terrible.
what the T-Wolves were doing last night. And like I said, it's not being biased, but you go watch Bam Adebayo. He does that all the time. It's
Yeah,
moving screens all the time, and he gets
no,
away
I
with
know,
it. You know what I mean?
I know. Yeah, you're
Yeah, we're
preaching to the
talking
choir,
about
brother.
Murray,
Can't
but
wait.
what about Pat Bev? What
Pat
about Pat
Bev
Oh,
too.
Bev? He
Yeah,
threw
Pat Bev is
balls in the
just.
stands, fired him at a fan. I haven't even heard
yeah,
anything about it being suspended or not. You can't throw balls at fans. I mean, especially as hard as he threw them. I haven't
yeah.
heard of
It's
him
two,
getting
right?
fined or anything.
I
I
think
think
Yeah, I
so.
so.
think he threw. I think they threw it back, and then he threw it again,
Yeah,
and
but he
then
threw it back to him, fool.
yeah, and then the post game interview,
Oh, his
he
interview. Gosh, he's such a. I don't know what was worse,
yeah,
Murray or him, dude. Him
yeah,
saying, "Oh, you don't follow my podcast?
Yeah.
Leave. I don't want to talk to
yeah,
you."
made the reporter leave because she
Yeah.
didn't subscribe to his podcast,
Ah,
and just it was not a good look for him, man. He did not help himself there, man. Pat Bev,
I don't know who
Bonehead.
Pat Bev thinks he is, man. He's walking around like he's Steph Curry out here. He's Pat
He
Bev,
does,
man.
bro.
Yeah,
Come on.
only
Outta
after
here.
losses, man. He's got to be the sorest loser I've ever seen, man.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wins a play-in game, he
And
stands
he's
up
the
on the
worst winner
broadcast
too. I
table.
was gonna say,
Yeah.
yeah, he's the worst winner. That guy stinks.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a good defender though. He's a good defender.
No, we'll give it to him. Yeah. You know, freaking Pat Bev. He does make it the NBA fun though. He keeps you on your toes. I mean, definitely one of those guys you hate him until he's on your team. And then you're like, all right, I kind of like this guy.
Yeah.
Nah,
I've never been in that position. I assume that's what it is. I've never had him on my team, so I've never liked him. But I
No, I
assume
mean,
that's how people feel.
you got guys. You got guys that do
Yeah.
that dirty work.
Yeah. He's like a poor man's Marcus Smart. Is what he is.
Poor man, yeah, I'd say even worse, but yeah, I get it. I get what you're
Yeah.
saying.
No, but I mean, the biggest shock of this playoff so far, I think, right now, is the fact that the defending champs, who everybody's ready to crown as NBA Finals champions, or at least getting there, including all of us. I mean, the Nuggets looked unstoppable going into this series. And all of a sudden they face a young Timberwolves team who think everyone's like, okay, we talked about they might match up better than anybody else with the Nuggets. But I don't think any of us thought they'd be up 2-0 right now after 2 games in Denver and going back to Minnesota. I mean,
Nope.
we talked about their height, those 2 big men. That's going to cause problems for them. And I mean, the last loss I think they had in the playoffs, last series loss, was when the Lakers won it all.
2021.
Yeah, and that's when they had to face guys like AD, JaVale McGee, I believe Dwight Howard. Yeah, so it's very much the same thing. I mean, that GM, as you were saying, I'll let you go ahead and explain this, Badagoon.
No, I mean, I love hearing it, man. It's just, yeah, I mean, the GM who was with the Nuggets from, I think it was 2012 to their championship run, he's the GM with the T-Wolves now. So, I mean, he knows their secret, too. I mean, he saw what beats him, you know. And that's the thing, too. They don't have a big or really any player on their bench, the Nuggets don't, that can fill that Jokic void.
Yep.
And T-Wolves, Cat's getting tired throwing Naz Reid. Gobert's getting tired, throw Cat back in. Like, they just have size and bodies to hound Jokic all night long. And you could see it. He's tired, bro. He's tired. I'm not saying Jokic is a stallion. I'm not saying he's one of the horses he has, but he's getting tired, man. He's getting beat up.
He is, man. Yeah. And I think all of us know that we talk about Jokic all the time and how amazing he is. But when the Nuggets have not been successful in the playoffs, or I should say when they have been successful in the playoffs, it's when Murray is the best player on the court. But the T-Wolves have slowed him down. And in doing that, they've realized like, oh crap, this is the guy we need to be worried about here on the Nuggets. And with him struggling, that's the reason they're down 0-2. And I also wouldn't be surprised if they come back and steal 2 in Minnesota, because we know Denver is that good. But I mean, what do they got to do, Pops? What do you think they got to do?
Well, right now they're living rent free in Murray's head, and they just got to stay on him, man. Get in his head. Keep doing what you're doing to Murray, because they can't win without him having a big series. If he starts hitting threes again, then it could get to be a series. But like you said, the Joker looks tired out there. Looks like he's ready to go back and see his ponies already.
And we had our first comment right here. JD said OKC can't miss. They're up 15, which is it's nice to see. He can't watch no more because now he'll be paying attention to the podcast. Usually it's the other way around. He's leaving us to watch the game. So glad to have you here, JD.
Yeah,
but
dude, best 3-point shooting team in the league, man. They believe me, I watched them. They do not miss.
Yeah, that's another young team that just shocking everybody with how good they're looking right now too.
Yo, real
Hondo,
quick, my bad.
Go ahead, buddy.
I just gotta say, I gotta own it, man. When we first talked about the playoffs and we were talking, there ain't nobody running through the Nuggets. The T-Wolves, they knew what the scheme was the whole time to beat the defending champs, get those 2 bigs, and get 2 efficient playing bigs. Like, everyone wants to, give Rudy a hard time. He does his role. He does his role, and he does it well. So, I mean, I'm first to admit, man, hand in the air, bro. I called that one wrong. Shout out to T-Wolves.
No, and I gotta admit too, when they got Gobert, I thought they looked so stupid doing that with Cat. I was like, this will never work. And here they are, and they look really freaking good. So, I don't think anyone's like Gobert though since COVID. but maybe we need to start respecting Gobert. What do you think, Hondo?
Yeah, they definitely deserve their flowers. They're stopping a possible what he's going for 4-time MVP in Jokic. Jamal Murray's in hell. Um, I just think I don't know. I chose the Nuggets to come out of the West, but I don't even think they might get swept. I personally think they might get swept.
They might. It's not looking good.
Yeah.
I don't see Jamal Murray getting out of hell. Jokic is tired. I think they don't have enough firepower to come back. I mean, they just got decimated at home.
Bad.
Yeah.
And
Bad.
Anthony Edwards, I don't even think he played that well compared to game one. I mean, he dropped 40. But I don't know. I think the Nuggets, and also this is the first playoff series that the Nuggets are playing against a team that's had 50 plus wins.
Yeah.
So they've been beaten up on a bunch of bottom feeders, and we've been blinded by it.
Yeah.
And
LA
last
almost
year,
knocked them out. I mean, they had a couple of buzzer beaters by Murray, or that series
don't-
could have been a lot different.
I think we've been blinded by it, for sure. I think them getting pushed to, was it 6 against
No,
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 4.
5.
Oh, 5. I mean, it was a
The
lot
gentleman's
closer than
sweep.
it should have been.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
well,
I
and the
just hear every
T-Wolves gave
Lakers fan right now.
the T-Wolves gave the Nuggets the hardest run hardest series last year when they were running
Yep.
that whole thing.
Yeah,
So
it's true.
I don't know, man. They've been the team to watch out for a while. We just haven't seen it. Yeah, we kind of got blindsided with what's been
No,
going
for
on,
sure.
and even when before when Murray was hurt, I mean, yeah, nobody feared the Nuggets. When Murray's not playing good, nobody fears the Nuggets. It's all on Murray, and he's facing the best
Yep.
defensive team in the league right now. It's just good night.
Yeah.
See you later.
And I think JD with his comment brings up a good point about getting Aaron Gordon involved, because we've seen when that guy is involved, they're a scary team. I mean, when they played the Celtics, that guy, we've talked about it, when they played him in the regular season, he's the sole reason they won both those games. Like, he was everywhere, cleaning up, put back dunks, and they were throwing lobs to him everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, when that guy gets going, that could really take some pressure off Murray. And
Just
I'm
watching
gonna say it here. I'm gonna say it here though, real quick. I think Nuggets are locked to win Game 3. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna go out on a limb.
Oh,
Yeah,
whoa!
that's my lock. That's my
Oh,
lock of the
lock?
week, baby.
Go
Lock it in.
going back
Lock
to
it in.
Aaron Gordon though. I think he went like 5 of 5 or 6 of 6 from the field, 15 points in the first quarter, and then I think in the middle of the fourth quarter he got his first bucket of the second half, finished with like 17 points. So yeah, he definitely got quiet towards the end of the game. But I mean, even then, I mean, yeah, they got him involved and he was shooting lights out, and they were still down 15 points.
Okay, Aaron Gordon can't be the different. Like, he can definitely help, but it's playoff time, baby. Your stars got to show out, and that's
No,
exactly what the Wolves are doing.
it needs to be Jamal and Jokic, but Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon have to
Yeah.
be on
Yep.
another
Yeah.
level too.
Yeah. If Murray's not gonna show up, then both those guys need to show up. That's a
Not
fact
to
right there.
mention, I mean, I don't know who you got to stop stop Anthony Edwards. KCP
Nobody.
couldn't do it. Aaron
Nobody.
Gordon, he's too big to guard him, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know how you stop him. And like I said,
Yeah.
he didn't go off, but he didn't need to because they were
Bro,
up. I think at one
he's
point they were up 30 points.
people are calling him MJ, dog. People are comparing him to MJ.
You know what's funny? He
Yeah.
said
Nobody
stop.
gonna stop him.
Yeah.
He said
I know
stop.
where
He
you're going
said
with this.
stop. He said stop comparing me to MJ. And what does he do in the third quarter? He gives him the Jordan shrug,
Yeah,
dude.
right
I'm like,
after we
oh
were
my
just
gosh,
yeah.
dude.
Dude. And he's humble.
He knows what he's doing.
He's a go.
He knows what
And
he's doing.
humble.
He's not
I can
humble.
see the Mavs playing, or the Thunder, the young Thunder playing the Timberwolves for the West Finals. I really do.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be the Thunder Wolves. I just, as much as I don't want to count out the Nuggets, but it's just hard to sit here and think Jamal Murray's gonna get it going. I mean, even in the first series, like in the first round against the Lakers, he didn't really do much until it came down to the fourth quarter.
Yeah. And I think this Nuggets T-Wolves series goes at least 6 games. I mean, there's a chance still think it goes 7 just because the fact that they are champions and they're going to come out and fight. They are better than what they played as. So I do think this series is far from over. But as you're talking about OKC being there, that was one of the last questions we got from tax season 35. Donnie was asking if the Thunder, who we got, the young Thunder or the iffy Mavs. Damn, the disrespect to the Mavs. Go ahead, Badagoon.
I mean, I don't know, man. I watched that. I mean, obviously, I'm probably the only one that out of you guys that watched the Pelicans and the Thunder series. But even when the Thunder were
I
shooting
don't have
bad,
NBA
even
TV.
Stop, bro. Stop. Yeah, but for real, even when I don't know, man, even when they were playing bad, like they were shooting bad, they just had more tenacity. Like they play hard and they play with effort. And truly, the guard Jalen Williams, not the big, is a dog. I mean, he's got old whites in Oklahoma barking up a storm over there, dude. Because he is that guy. He's good, man. So
yeah,
I just think they have too much for the Mavs right now. Even though I do like the Mavs, I just think they have too much for them, and I think their bigs are nice, but they're young too, and I think Chet's I think he's just a little bit better. So
yeah,
Well,
I think Luka and Kyrie have just been so good that the reason the Mavs have got this far. I think their roster isn't built to go this far and to be successful. You know what I mean? But Luka and Kyrie have just been so good that they've gotten this far. And I think they're one piece away, though. They get one piece that fits right because it's going to take a lot for it to fit right in that system with Luka and Kyrie. But if they do, I think they can be real scary in the next few years. But I just don't think this is a year. I think they're a piece away. And I think it's like their depth is really shown. But OKC's the way they like to push the pace going against the T-Wolves, who also like to do that. I think that'd make for a real good series. Pops, go ahead.
Well, the Mavs just don't have anybody that can guard SGA, man. Gilgeous Alexander, man. He's just too good for them, man.
We need a segment of your pronunciation of these guys' names. I love it.
shout out Pops.
Shout out Pops.
Dude, that'd be a good series though. The Nuggets, or I'm sorry, the Thunder and the T-Wolves, because that would be, I feel like, the best defender in Lou Dort in the West right now to go up on Ant. I think pause a little bit, sorry, but you know what I mean. I think that's the best teams right now left. So
and Jalen McDaniels to guard SGA. Man, that'd be a fun matchup
defense,
right
baby.
there.
That's defense.
That is. Wow. But if they were to play the Celtics in the finals, because let's start talking Celtics. I mean, they can guard Tatum or Brown, but who's going to guard Derek White, the greatest ball player to ever play the game of basketball? And who's going to guard Drew Holiday? Derek White, man. Let's put some respect on his name.
He's such a good guy. You've been seeing the Sam Adams commercials?
Yeah, of course.
Such a good
guy. He's been the X factor. It's a big question is if the Timberwolves play the Celtics in the finals, who's Garnett going to go for? I mean,
the team he won a ring with, baby.
I would hope so. But his last year was back in Minnesota.
I think he's
been talking him up all year. So
I think that fell through. I think the ownership fell through. They screwed him over. So he's been beefing with them, but he supports Cat and all those young guys, he's been supporting them. And I mean, the 2 games they played earlier in the year, both went to overtime. They split the season series. Both games were insane, really good high level basketball. So I think, and we talked about Nuggets and Celtics, how those were good matchups in the regular season. And not to discredit any other East team. I mean, we have mentioned though, The East is a bit weaker this year, other than Boston. So this is just hypotheticals of if the Celtics get there, who they match up with. But we've talked about the matchup with the Nuggets and how that looks good too. But go ahead, Hondo.
I think the only team that could challenge, like I said, the Knicks would be a whole different team if they had Julius Randle. But watching them play, dude, Josh Hart especially, their offensive rebounding, that scares me the most. The Celtics aren't they're not very good on the offensive boards, dude. And Josh Hart just throws his body out there, and
I love him.
and I don't, I love their effort, man.
I love him.
You know, I've been, people think I'm biased. I can't be biased about the Celtics, but you know, I love watching these teams that just give out this heart and effort, dude, on the court. Like,
yeah.
I mean, like I said, Jalen Brunson's on his IT run right now. Can the Celtics stop him? I think so. We got a bunch of defenders we could throw at him to stop him, but it's that offensive rebounding and them being more physical.
You know that
that's just
the Knicks player that gives the Celtics a lot of trouble is Robinson, their center. He does a good job.
He's going to be out.
Now. He's out for 6 to 8 weeks, so you don't have to worry about him, thankfully.
We don't know if Porzingis will be back by then.
So there's some news that came out. Supposedly the Cavs might get a little bit of Porzingis this series.
I think it'd be pointless though. If the games look as easy as it did tonight, do not rush him back.
No, 100%. But if it gets into trouble, I mean, Joe Mazzulla talked about it. Porzingis talked about it. They said his sprain back in January was a lot worse than what he did in Miami this playoff. So they're really hopeful that he could come back and play. But yeah, I mean, the Celtics just broke the record for most 20-point wins in a season. They beat the 72 Bucks and the 16 Spurs.
No, I think they tied it. They tied it for a piece, but they'll break it. They will.
They broke it. They had 18 games winning by 20 plus, and I think
he's talking about for the 17. Whole season.
Oh, for the whole season.
Whole season. I saw the playoff one.
Yeah, they're tied just for right now in the playoffs, most 20-point wins, and this is only 6 games in. So
yeah.
I mean, and JT ain't even playing. I mean, he's playing great ball defense and rebounding and stuff like that, getting players open. But I mean, he's not even having to score. And KP's not playing. This is what I mean. I mean, like, there's levels to this, man. I keep hearing the media say, I don't know, T-Wolves might be the best team right now, blah, blah, blah. It's like, there's levels to this, man. The Celtics, every time they win, it's by 20 plus. Like, yeah, sure, the competition might be weaker, but
I was gonna say, Doug. I mean, you see what the West is, though, right? Like that's
I mean, let's think about it.
I'm not saying the Celtics aren't a good team, but to be like, I mean, the reason why they're the best is because they're blowing teams out, and other teams are like winning close. Like it's higher competition in the West.
Okay, but let's think about it though. Like no disrespect.
Team was in the East.
But no disrespect. Okay, so let's look at the
C's, man.
Look, let's look at the Thunder. No disrespect to the Pels, but they didn't have their best player out there, and you guys pushed them to 5 or got swept?
Well, we got swept. But I'm just saying, like, we were still a 49-win team.
Timberwolves played the Suns. Yeah, sure. They had 3 All-Stars, but didn't play more than 30 games together and didn't really show up in the playoffs.
Yeah. Still like a 50-win team.
They weren't.
No.
They're like a 49-win team.
Yeah, they were pretty close. And I mean, that's what sucks about this playoffs. Obviously, we talk about, I heard Pierce say today, like, you need a lot of luck in the playoffs, and that luck is being healthy. And so many of these teams, it's hard to gauge how good they really were, how good they could have been, because half these teams weren't healthy throughout the season, and especially come playoff time. I mean, a team like the Pelicans, who knows how far they could have gone if Zion's healthy. A team like the Clippers, who knows how good they are if Kawhi's healthy. You know what I mean? And so it's just hard to tell right now. I mean, I think this is the best indicator, obviously, how this T-Wolves Nuggets series finishes out, because both teams are healthy. And however it finishes out, if the T-Wolves end up sweeping them, then okay, it's time to really, really take them serious as possibly the best, but because of the competition factor. But I mean, if it goes to 7 games, I think, and the Celtics keep blowing people out as they should with that competition being that low, I mean, I guess we'll just have to wait and see in the finals.
Wait and
who's
see,
there.
baby. Just wait and see.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
that's the
Just wait and
best
see
way.
who's the
That's the
best
best
team
way
at
to
the
see
end
it.
of it.
Yeah, and I can't wait to have Ernie on next week. Big T Wolves fan who will be talking that smack. That is must see TV, baby.
Oh,
Honda,
yeah.
you got to be here next week, bro.
Yeah, clear your schedule, Hondo, because Earn Balls is coming on.
You guys need Skip Bayless on set.
basically.
I could
But-
turn into Stephen A too. It doesn't matter because that boy be talking out of his butt.
Bonafide
sometimes.
haters, dude. Bonafide
Yeah.
haters.
I love seeing it.
Yeah, dude,
No, but in all honesty, like the playoffs probably would have been a lot better if players weren't injured. But I mean, from what we've gotten so far, I think it's been pretty good. I think the Pacers and Knicks series, that's going to be another series. I think that one goes 7.
Hmm.
Well,
I think
Halliburton's been hurt, ever since the All-Star break. He's been dealing with a bad back, and he doesn't look healthy out there. He's not
I mean, he only had 6 points.
And he only took 6 shots, and then most of them were threes. And he's not driving and kicking, and that's his bread and butter there, man. And he just doesn't look right. And they're saying he's been dealing with that back, not since the All-Star game, but ever since that tournament, in-season tournament, he's been hurt.
Playing.
Yeah.
That's right. And that's
And
tough
then-
because obviously Halliburton, we saw when he was healthy, he's one of the best in the league. And the Pacers,
Yeah.
that being their best players, they don't have much else. They need that guy.
Well, and their
And-
offensive rating was literally better than the Celtics at the beginning.
Well,
like
not the
before
rating.
the All.
Yeah, well, they scored
net
more
rating or
points, but the rating, Celtics were number 1 in rating, like per 100 shots. The
Mhm.
Celtics took the offensive rating. In fact, they set the record for it.
Mhm.
But if you
Our
didn't take
advanced
it,
analytics guy.
but
Yeah, I mean,
just
no, the
normally
Pacers are right there.
they end up outscoring the Celtics per game. But you go in offensive rating and defensive rating, Celtics were number 1 in offensive rating and number 2 in defensive rating. So,
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, Chris, put that in your
But-
pipe
yeah,
and smoke
Chris. Now
I was
what
gonna say
you
the
talking
Pelicans
about?
at one point were like the second best.
it.
Pelicans were
Give me,
never.
give me,
but
give
here-
me a
but
chance to
hey,
talk about my Pels at all.
But here's the thing: we are the best.
Did the Pelicans even win 45 games, 46 games? How many did they win?
49.
47? Huh?
49.
49? They make 50.
Come on, guys. Give me a chance.
No. And I
No.
want to fully back up Chris here. I fully believe Pelicans. Who knows if we're still talking about them right now if Zion's healthy.
We are.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, we're still talking about them, but not that like they moved on or anything.
you guys stink.
They might have
Come on
won
here and
2
I get
games in
bullied,
that
bro.
series.
Hey, you know what's crazy is this guy was a Celtics fan,
When
and then
I was
he just
like 12, bro.
and then he decided I'm gonna go for someone else. He should have stuck around, man.
Yeah.
Should've.
Hondo, and I said, "This ain't for me, Chief." Nola, here I come. And then I'm
He
coming
saw
home.
us roll
That's how
out
you know I'm a true
the.
fan because I left at that time the most winning is franchise, right? The
Mm.
Pels have the worst playoff record of all time winning percentage. 1.8.
No, he
I'm
saw
sorry.
he saw
0.18,
us
0.182. 18%.
he saw us roll out
Bad.
Gerald Wallace, Rondo, Chris Humphries, Avery Bradley, Soley, and said, "Nah, that ain't for me."
Those were the dark days.
And I
man.
said, I
Those
want
are the dark days, dude.
Alex Agenza, and each one more.
We
the
had him
boys.
too.
Wow. Yeah, but
No, for sure.
We had
Yeah.
half the league's players at one point. Brad and what's his name? Danny Ainge were just selling players left and right.
They
Oh,
were.
yeah. That year they had like 18 different people come in and out. As soon as he'd get somebody 3 or 4 games later, he was trading them for something.
Yeah.
Yep.
all I'm
How
saying
far
is
we come.
Mavs might get swept.
What's the
Mavs
score?
might get swept.
It's not looking good.
No, it looked bad.
What's the score?
Well, they lost. It was 117-95.
Yeah, final.
And
Oh, they
Luka
lost already?
again shooting bad. He's. I mean, I'm sure Lou Dort was on him, and let me tell you, he's a great defender. But
19
that
points.
team
Yeah,
goes as
Luka
Luka goes, man.
and Luka. They're saying his knee's been bothering him, and they haven't got much rest in between rounds. And that's another thing too. Like these second rounds, not only do they start right away, but every single game is every other day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
these guys are not getting any time to get any healthier anytime soon.
And going back to the Nuggets, I mean, Jackson was hurt, and I think another player got hurt.
Yeah,
Like 2 other players got hurt, and so luckily they play on Thursday.
yeah, they
I
get a
wanna
longer
say.
break. Luckily, yeah, but
But I
no
mean,
one
they're
I
knows.
don't know
already.
how.
Yeah, I mean, they've already
I don't
played 2
know.
games, so it's kind of tough.
And they're saying Murray's dealing with a hamstring injury too. He doesn't look quite the same. He's not as quick. They're
Yeah.
stripping him left and right, fouling him too, but still.
And this is where it's going to get tough, man, because I mean, you got the shorter days in between games. And the longer each round goes, I mean, that's going to take a toll on you going into the next round. So, I mean, it's super important for a team like the Celtics who take advantage of the weaker competition. End it quick. Don't play with your food. Get out of there. Get your rest. Get on to the next round. I mean, a team like the Knicks, if they play around with the Pacers, they go 7 games. That is to their own detriment. I mean, they play the Celtics conference finals. They do not want to go in there without any rest, especially when
And
their strength is energy.
last series they went 6, but that wasn't just no easy 6-game series for the Knicks. The point differential in that series was 1 point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For it to go 6 games, you feel like, oh, the Knicks did pretty good. They beat them by 1 point overall. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, and the Timberwolves Nuggets, we're talking about them, man. I mean, if they want to make a run to the finals, it's gonna be important for they're gonna see how many games it's gonna take because they're going through a gauntlet of teams. So if they're getting to the finals after getting beat up in 7 games against the Nuggets or maybe 7 games against the Thunder, I mean, that is not to their help at all. Like they need to end these games quickly if they want to get to the finals and win it.
That's the thing, though. I don't know if any West team's going to come out not like with a long series under their belt. I think the Celtics are truly the best team to come out of either conference with just an easy kind of.
I don't know. The way the Wolves are playing, like I said, if they sweep the Nuggets, that's 8 games in a row. You're 8-0 in the playoffs, and then you're gonna go play a Thunder team who's probably gonna sweep the Mavericks, if not again. I don't know. I give the Mavericks. I give them a game. I think they'll win one in Dallas.
Really.
OKC also they swept the Pels, so I mean if anything they're also pretty rested themselves. So I mean I feel like that would be they both have some energy and they're both a young team. So I mean it's not like
the Timberwolves, man, if they want to go far, they're gonna have to make quick work of this series. They cannot play around with the Nuggets.
They play around it. They play around. It gets back 2-2. They might be in some trouble.
Oh,
because that's when experience and stuff kicks in. You start feeling pressure. Maybe not so much Ant Edwards, because I really think he has arrived. For as young as he is, I think he's arrived. So but I mean, Cat. I don't know about Cat. I've never really.
Cat balled out last night, though.
He did. Cat. I really never liked him. You get him in pressure situations, he's always fouling out or something, dude. I don't know.
I mean,
up until this point, his playoff resume hasn't really been good.
It's because he's not the driver.
Yeah,
you don't have to be the driver no more.
Yeah,
he don't have
he
to
hits
be
those
the
threes. He's a 3-point shooter now.
He's just a shooter. He's a hooper. Cat's a hooper.
Yeah,
and he said
he was.
He said in his really high pitched, his real voice, not like his one voice he tries to put on, but he said, "I ain't playing that no more, dog. I'll be in the passenger seat." You know what I mean? So let him ride. Let him ride. He's a hooper. He's not a.
And he also
not the driver.
Yeah, he said he was Wembanyama. He said he was Wembanyama before Wembanyama, which I think is insane. But
that's crazy.
What?
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, he compared himself to these young guys that can shoot threes and stuff. He's saying he was better than them before.
He also calls himself. Oh, okay, go ahead.
Was it the greatest big man 3-point shooter ever or something like that?
Yeah,
But also, I was talking about this yesterday, like Cat, because we always all thought he was going to be like this big time all-star, the next great big man.
Yeah.
But you're starting to realize now, as he gets in his career, Anthony Edwards saved his ass because Cat is
Yeah, he
not.
did.
He's not a 1A. He is the 1B guy. Like, still arguably a number one, but like he's not 1A. You know what I mean? He's a 1B. And Anthony Edwards has really saved his career in Minnesota. Go ahead, Pop.
The Celtics play them. Tatum will guard Towns. I like that
Yeah.
matchup because Towns can't stop Tatum, and Tatum
Mhm.
can, if he stays up on him, he can take him out of his game. I really
And then
believe so.
you throw JB on Edwards like you did the
Yeah.
second
Mhm.
time around, and yeah, it's gonna get real nasty down there. Yes,
Well, the
sir.
game
And
itself
if that doesn't work, oh, you're gonna have Drew Holiday and bald Jesus out there too. Yes, sir.
DY,
It's gonna get real
DY.
nasty.
I'm telling you, DY is the
And the
greatest
best
ball
thing, I
player.
mean, look, yeah, they're gonna have the size on us for sure. But the
Mhm.
best thing about it is KP's gonna be able to bring um uh Rudy Gobert out to the 3-point line.
Well,
Yeah.
Celtics can
Let
go
him, let
big
him
with.
come dance out there a little bit. You know what I
But
mean? Let him
they
Yeah.
dance out
might bring in Nas Reed for
Can I
that.
have this dance?
They
I can
might
see
bring
the
That
Celtics
or
going big with Horford and KP, and then probably bringing Holiday off the bench.
yeah.
I don't know about that. Maybe.
See
But a
that
good.
they'll
What were
go
you
big
saying?
with.
Yeah,
They can
well,
go
I'm
big
just
with
saying if
him.
you got if they have see that's what I mean. Like Gobert is a liability on the perimeter, of course, but Nas Reed's a pretty solid defender and he can move. So I mean, he could come in, guard the floor, and I mean KP probably gonna cook, Cat off the rip, but I think you live with that. I think you just have to. 'Cause I don't think you could just consistently leave Jason Tatum open. I don't think you
Yeah.
wanna,
No, I
So
don't
I
think
don't
anyone
know.
wants to do that. Yeah.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, let's. I love the overreactions today. We're already planning out the NBA Finals. When this Nuggets T-Wolves series is far from over. I mean,
yeah, I know.
OKC and Mavs. They played one game, and here we are talking about a sweep. I
I
mean,
know.
What
the
are we
NBA
doing?
playoffs. We're gonna if Mavs win game 2, we're gonna be like, oh, Mavs are gonna win in 5. Yeah, like
basically
that's just
Well,
how it
and
is,
like I
man.
said, hopefully I'm wrong. I mean, I called the Magic. I thought their series was gonna be over in 4, and then here they come, man. They made me so
Yeah,
proud. That was the one team I've
yeah.
been supporting a little bit
No,
on the season.
I
it's like
love that Hondo
overreaction,
was.
bro. Just give us a chance.
Yeah,
Let us
I
be.
love. Yeah, I love when Hondo is all like, Magic, they're gonna make a run. They're my dark horse team. And then they go down 0-2 and Hondo's like, I was wrong, man. I don't know why I thought that. And then they tie it up 2-2, go to 7 games.
Yeah, they
Like they
went
just wanted to
7.
prove Hondo wrong each time.
By this time next week, we should know pretty much who's going to be in the conference finals anyway. All these games being every other day,
Yeah.
we'll have a
See if
good
our predictions
idea.
are right.
Yeah,
Hondo
let's see it.
Rongo.
Let's see it.
I didn't say
Well.
that. I didn't say that. Somebody else said that.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I picked the Nuggets and the Celtics to be in the finals, but I mean, Edwards is out here throwing the DX sign at everybody, so I don't even know, man.
Yeah, dude.
We'll see, bro.
No, oh, I forgot to bring this up. Honestly, before we leave, I got to bring this up. I don't know if you guys saw it, but when LeBron, you see him make the fan flinch because they were calling him a crybaby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
about
they're
it?
on the sideline calling him a crybaby, and LeBron was walking by him, and he goes like this, and the fan flinched and everything, and he just starts laughing at him, calling him, what do you call him? Scary ass. He was making fun of the fan. I thought that was hilarious with all the stuff that's going on with Pat Bev. Throwing the ball, and then Jamal Murray throwing the towel on the court, and then you got LeBron making a fan flinch, literally going like this to a fan. I thought that was the most hilarious video ever. I don't know if you
Speaking
guys
of
have seen that.
LeBron, he got another coach fired.
10.
Add that.
That's
He's
10.
the GM.
This is
know?
gonna be 10.
That's
But
what he wanted
GM.
was Darvin Ham. Now he wants Sky but I don't think the Clippers are going to give him up.
Everyone keeps giving LeBron crap for having all these coaches. Kobe Bryant had 11 coaches too.
Who did?
I think
Kobe Bryant.
I think Shaq had like 16 or something like that.
Well, that was
But
because
he
we used to
went to
call
every
him.
team.
That was because he was the Rainbow Man. He was
Yeah.
a rainbow
I mean,
man.
It's not a. It's same. You're still playing under another coach. Yeah, I mean, doesn't affect you.
Yeah.
He just,
But do you-
hey, I will say though, LeBron ain't owning it at all. He just
no.
kind of. I mean, I don't make those calls. Yeah, you
Yeah.
do. Yeah,
Like
you
Oh, yeah,
Giannis.
he does.
Nah, dude.
Like
According to
Giannis.
Windhorse, he don't get involved in that stuff. He don't get
Yeah.
involved in that stuff.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I doubt
He's
it.
the one that got the Lakers, all the
Yeah.
Lakers young guys traded, man. They could be really
Yeah.
good now if they'd kept hold of everybody.
That's so
Except
funny.
LaMelo, he got hurt. But
Nobody wanted Westbrook
Brandon
except
Ingram,
LeBron.
Randall, Hart.
Yep.
I
And then he
mean,
throws Westbrook under the bus when it don't work. Like that's
Yeah.
what's crazy. It's like you're the only
Yep.
one who wanted him here,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know why we brought him here.
I don't even know what. Yeah, dumb decision.
Yeah.
Own it,
Yeah.
bro.
I thought it was pretty messed up of him that he goes out there and says it's just basketball at the end of the day. But when
Yeah, I
Westbrook
love it.
said, "Hey, let's just go out there and have fun," he looked
Everyone
at him
hated
all
him.
salty. Like, come
Yeah.
on, bro! Like, what are we
Come on.
talking about?
Dude, oh my
Oh.
gosh. That is peak LeBron. I got a Lakers fan at work with one of my homies, Brandon, and he just takes LeBron quotes. Like I was making fun of him for his season ending, and he's like, "Come on, bro, it's just basketball." I was like,
Yeah.
Screw you, bro. Screw you.
I hate him, bro.
But
I hate him. I
I
hate
hate it.
Lakers fans, dude. I hate him.
Freaking LeBron. And they got a lot of question marks too going on next year. So, but I mean, we've kept this going for a while, so we'll wrap it up here. NBA playoffs heating up. We're going to know a lot more about this round 2 come next week. It's getting real interesting. But as always, I appreciate you guys, and I loved having you guys on. I look forward to seeing y'all next week.
heck yeah.